can't really put in words, you know. I always got a Knicks jersey on and I always think like that. It's like, this is crazy, but it's a good feeling, you know. Like I said, we're just excited to be in the city that I'm from and just compete for a championship.
All
right, my fellow Knicks fans. We have arrived up 3-1. Shout out to Mike Brown. He coached his ass off. Karl-Anthony Towns got 3 fucking quick fouls. Matter of fact, he got 2 quick fouls to start off the game, and that completely threw off the rotations. And now our beloved Knicks found a way to come back because he made those adjustments. That Jose Alvarado and Jalen Brunson lineup, that proved to be deadly. But New York, the whole tri-state, shout out to you guys. And I know some of you might have family members who are not here today. They would have loved to see this moment. Shout out to all of you and many blessings. This is truly a moment for the whole fan base. Wow, up 3-1. Matter of fact, this is where it all started. Knicks were down 20. And Jose got this nice bounce. You could tell, man, some Walt Disney shit was about to go down. We're talking about a first half with multiple missed calls. It was bad enough that Wemby didn't get the flagrant from game 3. But the fact that the referees missed 2 goaltending attempts, one by Cornette and the other by Wemby, and then another questionable out-of-bounds play where the ball clearly went off of a San Antonio Spur. Matter of fact, I'm going to add on top of this, there was a no call that Cat had on a drive on Wemby. This was a complete New York Knicks-ass game. For many of us throughout the years, we've seen some heartbreaking losses where we just not necessarily getting the calls, and we never get the benefit of the doubt. And that OG Anunoby tip at the end of the fourth quarter justified all that heartbreak. Again, I'm going to give Mike Brown his props because this Jose and Jalen Brunson lineup, it really compromised the Spurs. We finally have another ball handler who can just get some penetration because at this point, Harper and Castle was just killing us. And it's been all series long. Look how Wemby now has to follow Jose out. And I wish Cat, well, we're going to get into it later, but I wish he took more advantage of Keldon Johnson. He was struggling to post him up all game long. But we're going to get into it because that was one of the reasons why offensively we kind of struggled in game 3. But right here, it's not necessarily about the basket. It's about Wemby actually moving from side to side and just having to come out to leave that paint open. This is a prime example of the offense stalling in game 3. Notice how right here Wemby's going to switch with Bryant. They continuously put a smaller player on Towns, this time the rookie Bryant. And they continuously have Wemby around the elbows and to close out on corner shooters. Now right here, Cat, he's not as involved in game 3 in the offense is because he had easily some post-up moves. He could have dragged Bryant right here to the elbow or just drag him in. But he just stayed far out and really never took advantage of the smaller defenders all game long, even when he had Fox on him, or Vassell, or Champagne. Hopping right back to game 4. Again, this lineup with Jose, Brunson, both putting pressure because they can penetrate, and OG being hot from the corner. You're going to see Wemby now be compromised when JB starts to penetrate. Like normally Wemby is already in there. This 30-point comeback, it's just so many factors that go into it, but you gotta give kudos to Mike Brown. I gotta keep stressing that because ever since the first quarter, shit was looking stressed out. I was like, he's gonna earn every penny tonight. Now in game 3, once again in that third quarter, JB had 4 fouls. So Mike Brown made that call to get Jordan Clarkson in there over Deuce McBride, who was cold from the field. That's another lineup change that has gone Mike Brown's way. From the time Wemby subbed out 4 minutes in, Jordan Clarkson was not only able to contribute defensively, he was able to drop 5 points. We're starting to see why Leon Rose pivoted away from Tom Thibodeau. Mike Brown, at a drop of a dime, is willing to take some chances and go with certain players that have the hot hand. Look at game 4. Karl-Anthony Towns in foul trouble real early, and he went quickly with a 7-man rotation. We even got to see minutes from guys like Sohan and Ariel Hakporti. Let's not forget, also in game 2, Look at this lineup that he rode when Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart each had 4 fouls and he had to find time to rest Jalen Brunson. He stuck with this lineup right here with Deuce McBride, the hot hand of Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson grabbing a bunch of offensive boards, and the hot hand of Landry Shamet. He stayed with this from the last 3 minutes of this quarter all the way to the 10-minute mark of the start of the fourth. You fellas remember how Thibodeau is. Once you make one mistake, he pulls your ass out. You fellas remember last season with Landry Shamet and Deion Wright not necessarily getting minutes until Tibbs had to play them, and they had a good game 3 in Indiana. Don't get me wrong, we all love Tibbs. He kind of set the tone for this whole rebuild. But to see players like Obi Toppin shine in last year's finals, and this season we're continuing to see high-level teams have to rely on multiple role players. And New York City's own Jose Alvarado gets to shine. Check him out right here as he talks about being with the closing lineups of an NBA Finals game.
For both of you guys, you're both local guys. To be at Madison Square Garden and feel what that was at the end, just nobody left the arena and the craziness out there. Just kind of what were you feeling? Did you even realize what's happening?
And you said it, 2 kids from here, right? You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I was about to cry. Not because, obviously, we just want more, but I'm in Madison Square Garden in the fourth quarter with playing with these guys, and we playing for something special. It's just as excited. It really something I couldn't put in words. And like I said, we could get excited and enjoy this, but we got one more to do.
For sure.
You know? So that's the main goal, the next game.
And to add to what you got to say, too, I mean, I feel for all of y'all who was here at the game, obviously, you could just feel the abundance of joy at one time from everyone at one time. The collective joy that came out of everybody for that one moment to hear the buzzer going off and not to see the ball go in the basket. I think we all felt something like that emotion that was special. It's something that, you know, MSG hasn't had that kind of moment in a long time. So shout out to our fans for real.
Hey, it's all the years of fuckery that we've seen. Referees not calling things our way, the ball having some weird bounces for other teams, or just having the wrong bounce for us. It's years of suffering and just coming so close. I'm not gonna lie, I thought we got one of those same messed up moments right here. The Patrick Ewing finger roll all over again. Get the fuck out of here. I know everybody's heart dropped right there. But situations like that is almost a requirement for being a Knick. You're gonna go through those Patrick Ewing finger rolls, the Carmelo Anthony Roy Hibbert block, John Starks in Game 6 in Houston. The collective sigh of relief that Karl Anthony Towns was talking about is from the stresses of all these moments. Matter of fact, I could even add all the lottery selections that ain't go the Knicks' way. Not landing the number 1 pick back in 2019 when we were the worst team. That's when the NBA made the rule change. Being 1 pick away from getting Stephen Curry. It's a lot of heartbreak. But just going back to Game 4 right here, where Jose just being in the lineup, you're going to see how just Victor Wembanyama is always constantly on the move. I felt like he was going more side to side because of the dribble penetration. Look at Jose right here. See, he's going to cut in. See Victor? He wasn't moving like that in Game 3. He was more stationary, and the offense got stagnant. You know, with this trolling relationship that the media has with this Knicks team, especially James Dolan, when he had Tom Thibodeau kind of reviving the team from a rebuilding stage to more being prepped up in a right direction in order to be champions. They'll put you in a trick bag. We've seen a bunch of articles drop, oh, Tom Thibodeau playing guys too many minutes. Players have voted him number 1 as, I don't want to play for him. Meanwhile, the Knicks are getting past the second round of the playoffs every season. And when it comes to Mike Brown, we've seen the same thing kind of play out. All of a sudden, we love Tibbs. Why did they hire Mike Brown? After these finals are all said and done, they're going to have to review a lot of his adjustments and give him his props. Once again, due to so many foul trouble issues, like in Game 2 with Josh Hart, he made his adjustments. Same thing in Game 3 that we just went over. The Knicks were in prime position to win that game midway through the fourth quarter. And now we're seeing the same thing play out in Game 4 with him having 2 ball handlers to close out the game. Jose Alvarado right here played 9 minutes in the fourth quarter and was a big part of that comeback, getting dribble penetration. This team still has a long way to go because the Spurs, in a way, if you go in between the lines, they have played really well throughout this whole series. Of course, they're still young and going through their progressions, but Dylan Harper, I'm not going to lie, I can't believe he's a fucking rookie. Just the way he's playing. I mean, he's killing guys. I mean, talk about a modern day fucking Ginobili coming off the bench. He should be a starter. I mean, god damn. I mean, I got no words to say for the way Dylan Harper has played. He put on a move in game 4 on OG Anunoby. I mean, just the way he stopped at a dime was crazy. But this is one hell of a ball club. And when the Spurs have that lineup with Vassell, Harper, and I believe Castle, Jalen Brunson, he really struggles to get free. These guys are on his hip 24/7. But hey, we in the motherfucking finals. Notice how they leave Dylan Harper out here in crucial moments of the game. But the kid out of NYC got his moment. Now this right here shifted the momentum. We're in the motherfucking finals. It's all about the defense. And Victor Wembanyama, ever since he's made his way into the Garden, he's been rolling a lot more because the Spurs now, they know they're compromising this Knicks defense. They're going to force it to collapse and then kick out. But look at the defense of Josh Hart right here. He's going to be everywhere at once. So now, you know, he stunts in more. He's away from Castle. He helps out. And he quickly closes out on Castle. Castle's going to try to beat him. But look at this defense right here to get him to step out of bounds. This is all off of the recovery. Remember, Josh Hart, he was helping out on Wemby's role. He recovered, got back, forced him to step out of bounds. Shout out to the heart of the city. Hopping right back to game 3. This is exactly what the Spurs don't want. They don't want Wemby going 1v1 on the pick and roll, just popping out. As you can see, once he gets contact, due to his size, you know, he has to get real low when he dribbles, and it's easy just to swipe the ball out. Matter of fact, I'll touch on it real late. I was going to make another part of a segment because in between games 3 and 4, the Spurs and Knicks kind of switched up their offensive schemes around Wemby and Karl-Anthony Towns. Especially Wemby, he was more 1v1 out on the perimeter, taking 3-point shots, but there was an overemphasis of him just rolling to the basket a lot quicker to compromise the defense. Now here's a perfect example. Wemby's just going to ghost this screen and he's going to go right to the paint right away. And now he's going to compromise OG and Shamet. And just look at him right here. He looks like a fucking cartoon character. But this is what the Spurs want. Even if he catches it more towards the finals logo, they want everyone on the Knicks. Of course, they're going to compromise. If he kicks it out, now Vessel could either shoot it or they could attack these closeouts. The Spurs been doing this a lot because, of course, they're not a good 3-point shooting team. The first half of game 4 was an anomaly, but they don't normally shoot like that. So Wemby, it could be a nice little draw for them to actually allow some of the corner shooters to attack those closeouts. Because Karl-Anthony Towns was compromised in game 4 early with the 2 fouls, Wemby didn't have to worry about just rolling into the paint. He could just kill Mitch out from the perimeter. Yeah, that's something that he always had Mitch's number on. But right here, once again, look at him on the roll. See, right here, they always want him in this position right here. Because, of course, the Knicks, they have to collapse. But now he can kick out. And some of these guys, they could attack these closeouts like Castle or Champagne or Vassell. And they get the Knicks rotating. But I'll be elaborating on that in a different segment. But the last play of the game, this was the fucking creme de la creme. Nobody was worried about OG on the rebound. All the attention was on Brunson. Look at OG. Oh, from the heavens. Oh my God, MSG must have been insanity. But again, I gotta give kudos to Jose Alvarado. He really started this whole run in the 4th quarter. And it takes one hell of a coach to trust that instinct. Check out Mike Brown further elaborate on the NYC kid making his dream come true of having his moment at MSG.
The last person I'm going to talk about
is Jose Alvarado. No, we clap for Jose. I know a lot of you guys can't because you're in the media and you got to be neutral, but I'm going to clap for Jose. Sorry, Mom. Jose was unbelievable tonight. He changed the game. His speed, his ability to touch the paint, again, you give San Antonio a lot of credit. They're trying to throw a lot of different things at us defensively, kind of match up man / zone. And if you don't close out to Jose, as hard as he works on his shot, he going to make you pay. If you close out to him, he's quick enough to go by you. And he made some great basketball plays offensively tonight. And then he was great defensively.
Indeed he was. Jose had Wemby scrambling, just putting that whole Spurs defense in rotation. Harper, Castle, Vessel, they were all in the bag, compromising Jalen Brunson since the beginning of this series. That's something really that has not been said enough. Brunson has hit some timely shots, but he hasn't had those efficient games that he normally has. But we'll see. Knicks still got a long way to go. This Spurs team is real serious. I mean, going into the future, they are going to be a lot to deal with. These guys, Dylan Harper, Castle, they're very inexperienced. And for them to walk into MSG in that hostile environment, perform like this is crazy. But until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.